Hey guys, it's Adam Drader from the Dark Sabre Podcast. Hey, just wanted to give you guys a quick update this week and know that we also had to delay the release of episode 8 this week as well. There have been a lot of complications in the past 2 weeks, given the fact that we had multiple communication security breaches from the Air Force with not only my legal team, but also my podcasting team. This is something I wanted to talk about today. Now, I've gotten a lot of messages from cadets in the past 2 weeks. Hey, when are you going to publish the next episode? And there's a lot of things going on at the academy when it comes to addressing sexual assault or harassment or moving on to summer programs, all those other things, outside of that. Here's one of my main concerns. The Air Force Academy stands for something. Integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Our main mission is to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, whether as officers or enlisted, right? And protect American citizens against our enemies, foreign or domestic. But I challenge you to think about this. I have never, ever in my life seen an adversary, or in this case, the Air Force Academy and the Office of the Secretary of the Air Force, fight so hard to silence people. Not only myself, but many others. If you think I'm the only one who has been removed from the academy post-graduation who's been retaliated against, I challenge you to understand that that is just simply not the case. There are many instances of other people just like me who are still fighting. And then we start expanding this Dark Sabre Project. And what I've come to learn over almost the past year is that this is not just an Air Force Academy problem. This is a West Point problem. This is an Annapolis problem, Merchant Marine Academy, Coast Guard. And also, we keep forgetting that as officers, right, or future officers, our primary concern is to take care of enlisted people. I'm currently enlisted, right? We forget where we came from. We forget what made us who we are. And this is something that I'm challenging the Air Force Academy leadership to recognize. I think you're forgetting where you come from. Two people who are good people can be pointing guns at each other for believing in what they believe in. And in this case, I'm not pointing a gun at anybody, figuratively speaking. And I'm asking the other side to put theirs down as well. I understand there's just politics involved, that this could be your career, that this could end your career, exposing the things that we've been talking about, whether it's sexual assault, harassment, retaliation, and everything else, right? But take care of your people. You don't have to take care of me. This isn't about me. It never was about me. This is about the broader concept of supporting our airmen and fighting, and winning to defeat a common enemy, whether it's our peer adversaries or domestically. There's a bigger mission, and we need to better prepare our officers and our cadets and our future officers, right? Our future officers are key to integrating in what America stands for. And you look at all the academy grads now, or even other officers who aren't academy grads. They're parts of major corporations and CEOs, and they're an integral fiber element of what America stands for. And if the corruption is allowed to continue, this is going to erode the fiber in America today. And this is something that I think is the bigger issue. Not everybody's in the military. We understand that. But the problem is that a lot of our former military members become productive citizens in society. And if they were allowed to get away with whether it's sexual assault, harassment, rape, murder, all these other things, that type of mentality bleeds over to the civilian world. And I believe that's what's causing so much of the division that we are experiencing today. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop now. There was a podcast I listened to last week, Lex Friedman. He's a genius, in case you guys are ever interested in listening to some of his theories, whether it's cryptocurrencies to different, technology and everything else. And he said to one of his guests, would you rather be stabbed 14 times and survive in an instant? Or would you rather spend 10 years fighting to have your reputation restored and your honor? And I'm going to be honest, I'd pick the first one every single time. Granted, I've never been deployed. I get it. I've never shot anybody. And who cares? To be honest, I've spent my entire life, since I was a kid, 12 years old, even when I first joined the Civil Air Patrol, trying to help people, trying to save people. And I have. I'm very lucky from my experiences as a search and rescue technician with the Civil Air Patrol, with West Milford, and with Douglas County Search and Rescue out in Colorado. My role as an EMT and a firefighter between those various agencies over the years. But I spent my entire life trying to save people and help them. And I recognize I can't save everybody and I can't help everybody. But never in my life did I ever think that I willingly wanted to go and take the life of another human being, and how that is somehow being used as a measure of a man. Some of the criticisms I get, well, you've never been deployed, you've never killed anybody. Well, who cares? Most of the military has neither. And if you talk to anybody who actually has, like many of my very good friends from over the years, it's not something they talk about or not something they brag about. It's a very serious consequence, and it's something they think about every day. But having to fight the Air Force or the Air Force Academy for over a decade, this May will be the 11th year anniversary of starting this battle. It's insanity. These are our own people. And I'm not the only one. There are many other people out there who are fighting for their reputation and their honor back, who I believe were also wronged by the institution. And I'm leading that fight in the federal courts and with this Dark Sabre Project, with the Honor Hill Veterans Media Group, with Aaron and John, and everyone else who's been supporting us. I've talked to many other members of the class of 2010 in the past few weeks, and they're slowly starting to come on board. And I think that's great. Other members of USAFA. But then there are those who oppose us. And to be fair, some of the grads that have opposed us are the people that were involved in the scandals who got away with it. They don't want to be exposed. They don't want to have it affect their current careers or their future careers, might I add. But it's not my job to call them out or anything else. They have their own demons to deal with, and eventually, if they're ever called into court or everything else, they're going to have to deal with it on their own. But I think it's time that we can stop that nonsense now. If there are people who should not be officers at the Air Force Academy or West Point, Annapolis, or in our military in general, then let's work on getting them out. Legally, providing their due process rights, and making sure that we're protecting the future fiber of America, which is integrated with many of our military veterans. And like I said before, two people who think they're right could be pointing guns at each other. And it doesn't mean that they're necessarily wrong. I understand that the superintendent, the commandant, has blocked access to adamdruder.com and is trying to encourage cadets not to listen to the podcast. I've watched videos of cadets have sent me of the Sexual Assault Response Coordination Center at the Air Force Academy trying to call me out as a disgruntled graduate and that they shouldn't listen to anything that we're doing. Why? Why are you trying to censor information? Everything that we put online is factual because we can be held accountable for that. If you think that we're going to publish something that we can't prove, that isn't correct. Think again. And the reason why we're publishing these issues and talking about these issues and interviewing cadets and everybody else is because we truly believe it's important that cadets, permanent party, the general public, parents are aware of these things. For too long, the Air Force Academy and many other organizations, such as the AOG, have gotten away with some of these, in my opinion, are criminal offenses. Whether it's the misuse of financial allocations from donors. My class alone went through an issue where the AOG magically had $80,000 go missing. Now, granted, our former class officers have dealt with the issue, and they've been addressed, and we've brought them back. But why is that even occurring in the first place? And this is where I'm proud to announce that moving forward, we are trying to integrate into a new system and a new team with members, and the situation I won't explain yet because I'm really excited about it and I don't want to give it away. There are going to be people that are going to be stepping up to the plate for my class and all around veterans coming around, and we're going to try to formulate a group that is going to help provide veterans a path forward. And this is what I want to talk about. I'm going to be starting a new podcast in addition to Dark Sabre. Dark Sabre is very specific to the Academy. It's very niche, right? However, not everything has to be about the military. And if you look on the wall behind me, this is kind of my new background. One, thank you to my mother-in-law, future mother-in-law, who got me this really cool CNC cut M4. It's kind of cool looking. But this new podcast is going to be called Embark. At least that's the name I've come up with it so far now. Embark is going to be telling the stories of others, whether it's veterans or regular civilians, who have admitted that we've made mistakes in the past and we're moving on. We're embarking on a new journey. and we're providing value back to the communities. Here's where I started. This is my original class colored cap, and this is where I am now, and this is where I'm moving forward to as a rigger in the United States Army. And this is the country that I love, right? There are so many stories that need to be told, whether it's Gold Star families who've reached out to me over this period of time, whether it's entrepreneurs and veterans who have found themselves in the civilian world and really giving back to their communities. I want to tell those stories. So after we're done with season 1, once we get caught back up with the security breaches from the Air Force Office of Special Investigations tapping our communications, when I get back from annual training this year, I want to provide that value to my audience. I want to tell the stories that haven't been told before. And I'm really excited to start working with some incredible individuals on this in the advocacy realm and really trying to help people who need their stories to be told, who thought that they couldn't reach out and they had no other venue to doing so. So once again, thank you very much for being part of this Dark Sabre Project by John Staley, who started it with the Honor Hill Veterans Media Group, who reached out to me and gave me a chance. And now it's my turn to give back. I want to help others who have helped me and who have never been helped before. We could always climb the ladder to success and fall down the rungs numerous times over our lifetimes. But what we can never forget is to turn around, look below us, and pick up that person who's also trying to climb up the ladder with us. Because if we help others tell their stories and we help others better themselves, this is how we're going to fix the divisions not only within our civilian communities, but all the issues that we're dealing with in the military and our military academies today. Thank you so much for being part of this project. You can get more information on www.adamdrito.com. You can support the podcast, and please make sure to subscribe and listen if you're watching this on YouTube. Thanks again. And don't forget that together, we can make a difference.